Hello again. This is the fifth lab of the Database Cloud Service workshop. And this lab is focused on the Oracle Data Guard physical standby configuration. First, we need to enable Data Guard for our DBCS instance for our workshop database DB system. We go to our database systems here list. We have the second one, which was created from a backup that has been terminated. And we have this one, which is the first we have created, still running. We see here, we have to check the availability domain on the database system page for this database system. So this is going to be in availability domain 1, the first one. If you didn't change it, it's going to be the first one. Then we go to the database details page. So we're going to click workshop database, DB. That's running on this DB system. And here we have the data guard configuration, which is not enabled. On the left menu, we have the data guard associations. So we're going to click the left menu at the bottom of the page, and then we're going to create a standby database for this DB system. I'm going to go here at the bottom of the page, data guard associations, and I'm going to enable data guard. I already copied the display name of the DB system. In this case, is workshop database standby STB. And I'm going to use a different available domain from the one which is on my primary database. So in this case, I'm going to choose the 82 availability domain. And then I'm going to choose the same VCN, the subnet is going to be the same public subnet. And then I'm going to use DB host STB standby for the name of the host. So shape is going to be the same as the primary. It's going to be the smallest one. Sorry, we can select a different shape for the standby from the one which is on the primary. We don't have to select the same shape for the primary and standby. So I'm going to select the smallest shape, and then I'm going to select the networking configuration, the VCN, subnet, and the host name prefix is going to be DB host standby STB. We can choose the type of the data guard and the protection mode. So in this case, we have active data guard and data guard. So I'm going to leave it active data guard, and the protection mode maximum performance. So let me check maximum performance here, which is asynchronous, because maximum performance is the fastest way, and the replication is asynchronous replication. It doesn't wait for an acknowledgement from the standby that the redo logs have been applied on the standby database in order to apply those changes on the primary database. And the password for the user is going to be the same password for the database password, administrative users. So I'm going to specify here the password and click enable data guard. Of course, as all the tasks and all the work requests are going to take a couple of minutes until the new standby DB system is provisioned and the database data guard association is created. So now on my primary database, I'm still here on the primary database, workshop DB. You can see here the status of the data guard changed to enabled, but the standby under the data guard associations, it is still being provisioned. And you can see here the configuration, the basics of the configuration, protection mode, and the transport type. So I need to wait until the updating of the data guard association is complete and my standby database is provisioned. I can also check the work requests here, and we can see in this case it doesn't show under work requests. But let's wait to see if if we can get more details. You can also check DB systems, because once it is provisioned, the new standby database will appear here on under DB systems as a new DB system. But we still need to wait until it starts provisioning. I just want to correct myself. The provisioning of the new DB system for the standby database work request will appear not here on under the database work requests, because now we're on the database details page. It appears on the DB system details under work requests. So now we have the database which is updating, because it's creating the new standby replica for the data guard association. And here under work requests for the DB system page, for the DB system details page, we can see that the create data guard association work request. And here we can see the logs and the progress. And now it's about 25%. If there are any error messages, they will appear here on this list. Let's hope there are no error messages, but usually you will find here all the issues that are not properly configured or specified on the creation of the data guard association and to be reviewed. So if I click back on DB system details, I can stay here to watch the creation process, or I can go to the databases again, to my database details page, and I can wait here for the database to be available again, and for my data guard association to be up and running. So we have some more details now here regarding the standby database, but we still have to wait until the creation of the standby and the database data guard configuration it is complete. Data guard provisioning, data guard configuration provisioning is complete. We can see here it has succeeded. Create data guard work request on the DB system page. And now if we go to databases, let's wait for the state of the database to refresh, or just click on the database. Here, the database is still updating, but now it's available. The status was not refreshed, sorry. The data guard is enabled, and now it is completely enabled, because here under data guard associations, we can see the standby database for this primary database. Here we see the DB system, which is the workshop DB standby, maximum performance, asynchronous configuration, and the peer database is the one we have here on the screen. We can go to the DB systems page to see the list of the DB systems. And here it is. We have the workshop DB standby available. This is the standby database for this primary database for the workshop DB system. We can go here to this standby DB system, and we can see the database unique name. Let's write down the unique name. So this is the standby, and primary is DB systems, workshop DB, fra1xj, xg. xg is the primary, and 26m is 1xg is primary, and 26m is the standby. And again, for the DB system, let's take also the public IP of the host it is running on, because the standby database, of course, has a different host, a different DB system, and a different compute node. And this is the primary IP. Following the lab guide, we should connect to the DB system. So we should use the same key, because it has the same key for the SSH key for the standby, and we should connect with the standby public IP address. So I'm going to copy this public IP address of the standby host DB, and I'm going to use the same command. I can remove the tunneling because we are not going to use the Enterprise Manager Express again. And I'm going to connect to the standby database right now. So I'm asked to confirm my my connection. And I'm on the host DB, on the DB host standby. And here I'm supposed to work as Oracle user, because Oracle is the owner of the Oracle products installed on the database. I need to export the path and set up the environment in order to be able to use the data guard manager, the DGMGRL commands, the data guard broker configuration manager. So in command line. So let me, I can copy the commands from here, paste here, and the workshop database is already set up. I think the environment was set up by default, but just to make sure, I'm gonna set the path and the environment variables. And let's copy this command, data guard manager. I'm gonna connect as sys data guard to the data guard manager. So I'm going to copy the command, but here it's just the connection command. And now I need to copy or type the password. If you want, you can type it, or you can just copy paste it like I do. And now I'm connected as sysdba, as a sys data guard on my standby database using the data guard manager. Here I have to remember the two databases, which one is the primary and which one is the physical standby. So I have them here in my notes because it is important. Also, you can get to them from here, from the DataGuard manager, in using the show configuration. So 1xg is the primary and 26m is the physical standby, the same as I have here in my notes. I can show more details on one database. So now I'm going to show the details for the primary database. This is the primary here. So I'm gonna use the verbose command, and I'm gonna I'm gonna retrieve the details for my primary database, all the details. This is the verbose configuration, the complete configuration of my primary database. And then I can show the brief summary for the without the verbose for the standby if I want. My standby, I'm going to copy it from here, and this is the standby database. So you can see this is a physical standby, apply on, again, physical standby, apply on. You can see the transport lag, apply lag, apply generation redo rate, and also in this case, the apply redo rate, because it's a standby database and the name of the instance is the same as the name of the primary, of course. And then I can show the fast start failover configuration. The fast start failover is disabled, but the protection mode, I can see the protection mode is maximum performance, and the lag limit is 30 seconds. This is the default configuration we have. And now I'm going to exit the DataGuard manager using the exit command. Let's perform a switch over operation. So if I go back to my DB system, I'm going to go to my primary DB system, Workshop DB, and I'm going to go to my database, to the Workshop DB database. Let me see where I'm here. Here I'm on the standby. Let me go to DB systems, Workshop DB, and click the primary, the database here on the primary database DB system. And under DataGuard associations, we can see the role, and we can use the menu and run a switch over. And we have to provide the administrative password for this DB system. Under DataGuard associations, we can see here the peer database, the standby. I have this menu right at the edge of my screen here, and I'm going to click switch over, and then I have to provide the password. Now my DataGuard configuration is performing a switchover. It means that the roles will be changed. The primary will become standby, and standby becomes primary. And I can watch the whole process under work requests. And once it is finished, I can check again the database details and use the DataGuard manager again, command line, to verify if the two DB systems, if the two database instances changed roles. So here it is the switch over DataGuard operation under work request. I can click to see the details of the switch over, but I have to wait basically until it is completely finished. The switchover is complete. Now I can go to the database details and see the status again. So let's go to the database details. It takes maybe a few seconds. Now it's available. You can see here I'm on the former primary database DB system, and I'm looking at the database, and I can see the database role is standby, and the unique name is 1xg. So you see that the 1xg was the former primary database, but now this is the standby database. We can check the same also from the data guard manager. So I'm gonna run the data guard manager again on my standby compute node. It doesn't matter. You can run it on any of these connect sys dg password and show configuration. You can see now the 26M is the primary and 1xg is the physical standby. The other way around that it was at the beginning. So again, we can see the primary database. The primary now is the 26M, and here it is. So the role is primary. You can see it also on the console, on the cloud console, and so on. Let's enable a fast start failover. I'm going to use the same data guard manager command line to enable the fast start failover. I'm going to say enable fast start failover. And there is a note here because our configuration is maximum performance. Fast start failover being enabled can result in possible data loss, in potential data loss mode. So this is why we have this message also printed after we enable the fast start failover in this configuration. And we can see the configuration of the fast start failover if we if we run show fast start failover command. Next step is to show the target for the primary database. In our case, make sure you use the correct names when you run the commands. So this is the primary database here, and the target is the 1xg, because this is the standby database. And if I run it on the vice versa on the standby database, I get the primary database as the target, of course. We can change the protection mode. I'm going to disable first the fast start failover, and then I'm going to configure the read transport service to be sync on my primary database. My primary database, if you remember now, is the standby database, which was in the original configuration. And I'm going to specify the log transport synchronous. Let me do this way. And then for the standby database, the same. I'm going to use the command line and then my standby database, which was the original primary. This is the command I have to run. So it is very important to run the correct command. And then I did the configuration and I can set the configuration to maximum availability. Succeeded. And now we can show the configuration. So we have protection mode, maximum availability. This is the primary, 26M, physical standby 1xg, and fast start failover disabled, and the new protection mode. And then it is maximum availability. Yes, it has to be maximum availability. Yes, this is correct. So I specified maximum availability and it was maximum performance before. I don't know why I have to run it twice. Maximum availability. Oh, here I had a warning, but no, this is the, in case you get a warning, you run it again just to make sure it has completely changed the configuration. And now we can stop the redo apply. So for example, we can use the standby database for testing or development or anything we want to do, usually performance testing. And we would like to stop the redo apply and open this database in read-write mode for maybe some time, and then you can reinstate the data guard configuration. So we can use the physical standby database. Let me take this is the 1xg, my standby, to make sure I can see it here, 1xg. Okay, and I say edit database 1xg set state apply off. And I'm stopping the redo apply on my standby database. And then I'm going to show the details, the brief summary of my, sorry, I didn't copy. So you can see the apply off, the transport lag is going to increase from now, and the apply lag. So we don't have more details. The apply lag is going to increase if we keep the apply off for some time, and at some point we will have to restart the redo apply. Here we have 58 seconds and so on. So it will continue to increase the lag between the two databases. And now we can start the redo apply, resume the redo apply on this database. So I'm going to copy the command from here. And I'm going to run set state apply on. And again, now the apply lag will decrease, which will get to normal. So I'm going to show you again the database configuration. And here you can see apply lag is 0. We don't have any redo generated, just maintenance, basic maintenance on this database, but you will see in a real case that you can keep the apply off for a limited amount of time before you'll need to enable to resume the redo apply. I'm going to exit database data guard manager, and I'm going to run the last task to test the fast start failover with maximum availability. So I'm going to create the initial configuration. I'm going to run switchover again in the Cloud Console just to recreate the original configuration under Data Guard Associations. We have here failover. This is the standby database. Let's go to the primary database. This is the standby database right now. So let's go to the DB systems. We go to the standby DB system, but now this is the primary database. So I'm going to click on workshop database. You can see the role is primary because we performed the switchover. And under Data Guard Associations, we do switchover again. And I need to specify the password for my administrative user in order to perform the switchover. I have a work request. Well, I have switchover data guard work request here. And then I'm going to connect again to my data guard manager and enable again the fast start failover. So this is basically the whole lab. I'm not going to wait until, because I have to wait until the databases are in the same configuration. I need these databases to be in the same configuration, because for the next labs, I want to have them as the original configuration was at the beginning, with the 1xg database primary and the 26m database standby. So this is the idea, and I want to have them in fast start failover configuration between them. So I'm going to do this stuff in the background, but at this point, basically this lab is complete, and see you at the next lab. Thank you very much.